The 2019 NFL season is finally upon us. And on a personal note, this is officially the 5th season of PackCast, about our 3rd on YouTube. And hot damn am I excited. Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to another episode of PackCast, the podcast where you don't be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom Grossi, and today what we're going to take a look at is two topics condensed into one video. I was going to do a practice squad video yesterday, but instead released the Colts reaction video after many requests, and so we're going to take a look at the players that we wound up signing to the 10-man practice squad, and also taking a look at the trade that the Packers made today, getting good old BJ Goodson, the inside linebacker from the New York Giants. So first off, let's take a look at the practice squad. There's a couple surprises on here. A lot of them we were able to predict last week when we were taking a look and trying to predict what the initial 53-man roster and practice squad would look like. So some of the non-big surprises here on offense, you got Yosh Neiman, who has great size, but also definitely needs some work. You got Evan Bayless, who was the tight end, who definitely showed a bunch of potential, especially in that last preseason game. You got Trey Carson, who thankfully they signed Dexter Williams because they saw more talent and potential in him. But Trey Carson was great during the preseason, and he impressed the coaches in camp. And so I think he's being kept not only because he's a good player, but also because he provides that veteran presence. And in addition, he also is going to provide some depth. So if we're using Trey Carson sometime in the year, things have gone terribly wrong if he's our starting back. Thankfully, we were able to sign wide receiver Allen Lazard. Yeah, I said it right this time. Happy now? Not Lizard. So we were able to keep a very talented guy. It was going to be between Shepard and him, who made the 53-man roster, if we were going to keep that many wide receivers. And so I think he provides great depth, considering, you know, just one wide receiver needs to go down and he might get called up. The other guys on offense that we wound up keeping, a couple surprises here. Malik Taylor, the wide receiver, who to me really didn't show a whole lot of promise, but I mean, I guess the coaches see something in him. I mean, he provides depth, but I kind of just don't get it. I mean, but again, they can develop him. And then we also kept QB Manny Wilkins, obviously getting rid of Deshaun Kaiser. And Manny Wilkins, obviously he's known for the hurdle that he did in the last preseason game over the Chiefs defender. But what I was seeing of him is that his throws really weren't accurate, and he is a very raw talent. They used a lot of running schemes with him. So again, he could be developed into maybe a dual threat, but again, he's a super duper young quarterback, and so we can see where that is going to develop. Then on defense, no real surprises here except one. We kept cornerback Kabian Ento, so he's the one who's transitioning from wide receiver into cornerback. We kept defensive lineman, the 7th round pick in 2018, James Looney. We kept outside linebacker Randy Ramsey, so again, showed a bunch of potential. Really glad that we were able to get him signed. And we kept inside linebacker Brady Sheldon, who was kind of just meh, but I'm assuming that this move is more for depth. And so overall, I think that the practice squad is pretty solid. If there's some kind of like question marks, it's probably Malik Taylor is the one that I'm like, I don't really know why you're there. But overall, I think we have some great potential here that these guys could eventually maybe be developed into guys who can actually be called up to the main team within the next couple years. And in addition, obviously, a big omission from the practice squad is Jamon Moore, our 4th round pick from last year. And so the Packers informed him that they didn't want to sign him to the practice squad. He is, in fact, visiting the Chiefs. I do wish him the best because, again, things just didn't come together with him. I think it was a confidence issue, and he seemed to know this as well. And so, again, I hope he's able to get on his feet. But, you know, we'll see what happens in that route. And if he becomes a Pro Bowler somewhere, shoot me. In addition, we also have former Packers players Kendrell Bryce and also Josh Jones visiting Buffalo, so maybe two of those guys can land on their feet, though I'd say if anybody's going to land on their feet, it's more likely to be Josh Jones. But again, we got some players moving along. And then the news from today, obviously the Packers trading with the Giants for an inside linebacker, BJ Goodson. Now, real quick, I had to double check, and there's still some conflicting reports here, but it seems that we gave them a 7th round pick, and it's either going to be the 7th round pick that the Packers have this year or the one that we got from Baltimore in the trade for Ty Montgomery. So basically nothing. And that makes sense considering that the Giants were going to waive him, but the Packers didn't want to risk him hitting waivers, and so they wound up just trading for him. But BJ Goodson is a 2016 fourth-round pick. So in 2016, he played 15 games but didn't start anything, had 1 forced fumble and just 2 combined tackles. 2017, he started 7 games. He had 1 forced fumble, 53 combined tackles, and 37 solo. And in 2018, he played in 15 games, started in 13, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, 61 combined tackles, and 44 solo tackles. Now, to make room for this, we did wind up cutting James Crawford, who was like a bit of a question mark, at least for me, in that he did not play well during this preseason, a ton of missed tackles, and so I'm not really surprised here, but we needed this pick just for depth alone. Oren Burks, it's rumored that he's only going to be out for 4 weeks, and so this pick provides that. Now, obviously, Goodson is not going to play this week because he just got signed today, and so because of that, he's not going to be playing on Thursday, but in the weeks that Oren Burks is out, he was going to provide some depth there, and we really didn't have to give up pretty much anything. And so the little bit that I've seen about him, it seems that he does struggle a lot in coverage. Coming out of the draft, he was known as a good run defender, and he showed that while on the Giants team, but he was never able really to nail the coverage thing down. And so again, I think this is more of a move just to get a body there at that position. Who knows if they're going to move Raven Green, who's a recently new number 24 now, over into that inside linebacker spot, and maybe he's going to play a hybrid of linebacker and safety, just like Josh Jones did. But right now, I think there's value there, and what's the worst that can possibly happen? If he's terrible, he's probably going to see limited snaps anyway, because you're going to have Blake Martinez there, obviously, as a main starter, and then you could have Oren Burks, who's going to come in, hopefully after only just 4 weeks, because the injury doesn't seem as serious as originally predicted. But as of right now, it looks like the Green Bay Packers are all set for their Thursday night game against the Chicago Bears. We have quite the injury report already that has accrued, and the Bears literally have 2 people on it, but, you know, that's fine. I think we have 18, but, you know, everything's fine. Everything's fine. It also seems that Kevin King is going to play on a limited snap count on Thursday, but he will be on the field, which is a good thing. How long he'll be on the field, that's anybody's guess. But this week, obviously, leading up to the game, we're going to have a bunch of episodes coming out tomorrow. We're going to have the interview with the Bears fan, Josh from Sports Fury, coming out tomorrow, as well as clips from that interview in case you don't want to watch the entire thing. We'll also have our fantasy starters on Tuesday. Also on Wednesday, we'll have our Week 1 predictions. Thursday, we'll be live streaming the game right here on YouTube and then doing a post-game breakdown. And Friday, we'll have a live stream Q&A later in the evening. But that's what we got for the first week of football. We are almost there, and I could not be more excited because we can finally stop talking about what-ifs and actually watch the Green Bay Packers decimate the Chicago Bears. And if they don't, I always have Madden. But let me know what you think about the practice squad and our newly acquired inside linebacker down in the comments below. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media. See down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course here on YouTube. And check out patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy to support me. And a big shout out and thank you to all those patron members already. And I hope you like the new intro. You know, that's a new thing. So, you know, it's always fun, all stuff from last year. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. And as always, go Pack Go.